another episode of Meet the Elite. I am Brianna Foley.
And I'm Rhett Luke.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've sat down together.
Yeah. Yeah. The very first time. We've been doing this now, the podcast for, well, I guess in total for like 4 or 5 months, I guess. It feels
Yeah.
a lot longer than that with how much we've been actually doing behind the scenes with compared to how much we've been able to put out into the world yet. But it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, we know not a single chance yet have we had to actually sit down. We've been doing a
Yeah.
bunch of listing shoots and stuff together, which
Yeah.
people will hopefully be seeing as well. But
Yeah. So Rhett does a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He's the guy that kind of put our whole like podcast area together, got the equipment, editing. Um, he's really like made our visions come to real life, which has been pretty cool.
trying. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun just seeing everybody come together as a team and just everyone's got a lot of really good ideas for different ways. Like everyone's just a lot more artsy than I think I thought with
Hmm.
this kind of stuff, and to see everyone kind of come out and get to try out their different strengths and see who's good at what. And like we I think we all came into it wondering like, all right, who's gonna do the video shooting and who's gonna do this? And then we realized, oh, there's somebody kind of good at all parts of this, and we've kind of put everybody in the little niche they need to go, and it seems
Yeah.
to be working out really well.
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to keep improving, and we're trying to add to the team and get a little bigger here as we go. So I think it's only going to get better. It's
Yeah.
been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I definitely didn't when I got into real estate. I never thought that podcast was where that would lead to, but it's really cool that it did.
It's kind of weird how you have a vision for yourself or where you think you'll be, and then you end up like completely different. But it's just kind of cool to see everyone's path to get to where they are.
And it's always cool because it feels like whether we thought it was going to ever get here or not, or anybody did, it feels like it's working out for everybody. So even if it's
Yeah,
not where we saw us being at this point in time, it's going pretty good, I think,
for
for
sure.
everybody. So,
Yeah.
and we just wanted to keep going that way. And I mean, the amount of support we've had from everybody, our broker to everybody else in the office, has been crazy. I mean, it started out with just our small team sitting down going, hey, do you think we could do this maybe? And then the brokerage like wholeheartedly jumped behind us and said, absolutely, here you
Yes.
go.
We're lucky in
What can
that
we do to
aspect
help
for
you?
sure.
Yeah, and it's been great.
Yeah. So tell us, like, what was your path? We talked about everyone's different path, but how did you get here at Arizona Elite in real estate
That's
and
kind of
podcasting?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'll be quite honest that I never once, before I actually got into real estate and started thinking about it, I never thought about it before in my life. I had multiple family members who'd been agents, and all I'd always known it was a thing. I just didn't really know what it was. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, cool, people sell houses. Some people make a lot of money. I don't really know how any of that works. Um, Basically, I was bartending and managing at sports bars and restaurants for a long time. I had gone to school, didn't really do anything with my degree. And somewhere along the line, I was like, I just need to do something new and I need to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this thought in my head that I was like, as a bartender and a manager, I'm doing a lot of what I would call adult babysitting.
Yeah.
And I was kind of over that in a sense, in all honesty.
Yeah.
And I hopped into real estate and then immediately got into property management, not expecting to get into property management and not really
I
knowing
don't
what to
think many
expect.
people like think as a child, as a child, when I grew up, I'm gonna be a property
Yeah,
manager.
yeah, no, no, and no point was I did I think that, and it's been really interesting because I was like, oh, I got out of bartending because I was sick of adult babysitting, but then property management is professional adult babysitting.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
kind
about
of like
that.
it's kind of what it feels like to me, mostly just because of the amount of times I'm chasing down grown people to pay their rent, or you know oh, hey, if you let me know that that was leaking 3 weeks ago, maybe the wall wouldn't have collapsed because I could
Yeah.
have gotten it fixed, things like that. It's just like very simple stuff where I'm like, I don't feel like I should be having to
I
tell
know, right?
adults this.
It's like
Like
when adults, like, call us, like, we're their mom or dad
yeah,
sometimes, like,
yeah,
why they don't have rent payment. They're like, "Well, my car was broken down, so I couldn't make it to work, and I missed 2 shifts. Like, it's our fault." Like,
yes, yeah.
I'm
and
like,
then and we're
"Okay."
people.
Like
I'm a human. I feel bad, and
Yeah.
I give everyone I can the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And that's something that some people have told me is not good in this industry, because I have been burned plenty of times by
Yeah.
trusting people first. But I'm just kind of that way where until you earn my distrust, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I think that's Alex probably. I would assume not Chase. Um, I would. I've always been one of those kind of like people pleaser people, and maybe that's part of the restaurant industry, that like the customer's always right type of
Yeah.
mentality. And it was hard for me to kind of learn that with tenants at first and stuff like that. That like you want to feel bad and you can care, but at the same time you are still managing someone's money and their
Yes.
investment, and
Yes.
it's your job, but it's their risk. It's
Exactly.
their money. And if you aren't managing it right, if you're letting people give you the benefit of the doubt and you're letting them run over you and do what they want, and just because you're trusting their word, you're not going to be a good property manager,
Correct.
unfortunately. They're going to not pay their rent. They're going to trash the house. They're going to lie to you about the things that are going on. They'll have pets when they're not supposed to, like all of that stuff. And then they get away with all of it. It helps them. And then you lose your job or that account or that client
Exactly.
because you failed to do what you're, because you were trying to be nice.
And I think the biggest thing is knowing that we work for the homeowner. We don't work for the tenant.
Yes, exactly.
So,
That was a lesson that was hard for me to learn. I have to be
yeah.
honest. Like I was that people pleasing thing where it's like, well, yes, they're my clients, but these tenants are also like they're not my clients, but in my head, like I thought of them like that at first, right? Because like they're in my house, I'm taking care of them. Like
Yes.
I need, like I just didn't. I thought about it in that customer service aspect
I
as
did too.
opposed to like the I work for the owner and
Yeah.
this is their problem. At the end of the day, sorry tenant, that's not your house. You don't own that,
Yeah.
and you don't have to pay. You don't have to deal with the damages. You don't have to deal with the mortgage. You don't have to deal with any of it. All we're asking is that you pay your rent on the first,
Exactly.
and that's all.
And I think
Which is what you
now we've
agreed
been
to.
doing it for a long time. You just there's laws and rules in place, and if you stick to the laws and rules, you're good. You just
Yeah,
can't do the gray, which,
yeah,
it's easier said than done, to be honest.
it is, and that's where the feelings thing comes into it because it's. But that's where I think that I have to shout out to Alex. I'm sure he's sitting there listening to it right now. He's helped me a lot with that. Like, stop letting your head go with what you feel. Get
Yes.
back to what that contract says and
Mhm.
who do you work for and what is the responsibility to this property.
Yes.
You got and it does suck a little bit because I'm a people person and I like I try to like help people make them happy, but I've had to learn to just like I'm sorry, I got to cut the emotions out of it.
Yes.
This is when your rent's due. This is what needs to be done, and if you don't follow it, I'm gonna have to find new tenants.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes. And I feel bad, and I'm sorry you lost your job, or I'm sorry you were in a hospital. Like, but I can't control any of that. All I can control is that I'm my job, which is I'm supposed to collect this rent and supposed to make sure the house is
Yeah.
taken care of. So it's been a hard lesson to learn, but as I've learned that lesson, the job has gotten easier. And
Yeah.
I've had a lot less issues because most of the issues that I have dealt with since starting have come from letting people take advantage of my kindness. 100%. And that's just since I've stopped that mostly this year, it a lot of stuff has changed and it's helped
Yeah.
a lot. So I've had a lot less problems, a lot less people trying to give me dumb excuses and all the all the different things in between that entails, which is we could sit here. I'm sure we could sit here and talk all day about tenants' excuses and the things that we've heard and all sorts of stuff. But
Yeah.
it's like when you learn to just go, I'm sorry, this is when rent's due.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go through the eviction process really fast. Tenants rent is due on the 1st. For us, it's late on the 5th. If we don't have rent by the 5th, we are going to send you a certified mail 5-day notice. That's going to say kind of like a warning, like, hey, get your act together, get your rent in.
Yep.
And then on the 15th, if we still don't receive rent, then we're going to send you over to our lawyers and they are going to then do a judgment. You'll have to go to court. It's usually about a week or two later. You show up in court, you can make arrangements with the judge of when you're gonna pay. Um, or if you don't show up, then we can then file, an eviction.
Yep.
And then from there, if you're still not paying rent, you don't get caught up. There's so many chances. Then we do a writ. And that's when the sheriff, the constable comes to the property and we have to physically lock you out
Yeah.
of
That
the
is not
house.
a fun process. And
It's
and
not.
you hit on a good point there. There are plenty of chances
Mhm.
during the process for the tenants to rectify the situation.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that they don't is almost always, which is crazy to me because I mean, it feels like I'm sure to the tenant it's a whirlwind. Oh my gosh, I'm getting evicted in like 3 days, blah blah. But that's when the process starts, and then it's got to go to the court. You have all this time to
Yeah.
figure it out, and the amount of them that just don't, you just don't ever hear from them. They don't communicate. You have no idea what's going on at the house until the constable shows up and goes, "Hey, they're here or they're not," and you got to
And
walk
there's
into whatever mess is
Yeah,
left.
there's things
Like,
in place too, like, we have those hardship months,
mhm,
and we're not, like, inhuman that we're not going to help you, but if you come to us saying, "Hey, I have half of my rent now, and then I'll have the rest, 25% on this date, 25% on this date, and then we'll be caught up."
yeah,
As long as we have it all on a promissory note and in writing,
yep,
we're good, we'll communicate that with the owner, and a lot of times the owners are okay with that
yeah.
too.
Because guys, owners are people. Owners are people. They
Yes.
do have feelings and they will care, but communication matters. If
Yeah.
if we go 6 months without hearing from you and you're not paying your rent and we have no idea why, you're getting
Exactly.
evicted. I'm sorry.
It's
We
like
can't.
any relationship though.
Yeah.
Communication goes a long
Yeah, if you don't
way.
talk to your wife for 6 months and you show up and suddenly she's gone from the house and all her stuff's gone, you're like, "Oh, well, I wonder why." Well, because yeah, because you didn't talk to her for 6 months. Like, stuff like
Exactly.
and tenants do the same thing for some reason, and that usually that's how you know for sure when an eviction is gonna be for certain because they're just not communicating.
Yes.
Usually if people our tenants are talking to you, and even if it is just excuses, if they're still communicating, it's usually because like, they are actually trying and they
Yeah.
care, and usually you can try to I have had 1 or 2 where the situation, even though they were communicating, they just, whether they lost their jobs or something else, they just couldn't afford to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Did communicate through the whole process, still had to leave. But usually those we don't have to actually go through with the eviction. They just leave, or we work out a way for them to
Yeah.
break the lease, or like we work out something because owners are people; they're not monsters, and they have feelings and they want to work. And owners like good tenants. So if you're a good tenant and you have a hard time, but you've been a good tenant, most owners are willing to go, oh, they've been a good tenant. Yeah, can we help them? How can we work it out with
Yeah.
them? But you have to communicate with us.
Yeah.
So, which is
I
like
know,
where it
like,
all fails.
I think you and I are like a lot alike in some ways, as we do hold a lot in our heart. And it makes me like emotionally exhausted
Yeah.
when I do have to put someone out
Yeah.
and about. And we are both exhausted at home too, because I know Alex and I, we have a newborn
Yeah.
and,
Yes, we also yeah, we have and you have 2 with a newborn. We only have 1 with a
but
newborn
you
as
have a
well.
toddler with a
Yeah, yes, we
newborn.
have 2
So,
under 3 right now. So it's a chaotic household, and I'm sure my wife is like, "What are you doing complaining?" But because she's the one who has to stay at home and
yes,
take care of them every day while I'm here working, but it is yeah, we're a little tired. Um but at the same time, like that's almost made kids has almost made it harder for me to be like emotionally detached from people because now I'm like, I have kids, and I'm like, well, how would people treat my kids
I
if
don't
they
have
were?
time for
I'm like,
this.
but
Your
then,
patience is smaller and
but then
smaller.
like then as the more you do that, the more you wear yourself out, and then pretty soon you're out of that. Yeah, like you said, out of that patience anyway. But yeah, I do. I hold a lot in my heart. I want to feel for tenants. I've had a really hard time reining that in. Thankfully, your husband Alex has been great at
Yeah, he's
kind of
very black and white.
yeah, he's very black and white, and he's just also he thinks about it in a much different point of view than I was approaching it before, and I
Yes.
just didn't. I just needed to see it from somebody a different angle that I had not seen before. And when he started explaining how he views things and he does stuff, and I was like, oh man, that makes so much sense. I should have like, and that's stuff I should have been able to like click when once it's like, oh, I'm so dumb. How did I not see that before somebody had to show it to me? But I did need him to like be like, dude, think about it this way. Not you're not a bartender doing customer service anymore.
Yeah.
You're somebody managing investment in properties for clients, and they rely on you to be dependable and make sure you're taking care of their stuff. That means you have to be not nice sometimes, and sometimes you have to be not nice.
Yeah.
And I'm getting there slowly,
Be
slowly.
less nice,
Yeah, be
Rhett.
less nice as like the goal, which I'm sure every person who's a renter out there loves hearing that from a property manager. But the niceness is where we get in trouble, and that's where we get the problems in our houses. And it
Exactly.
always causes, unfortunately, it does cause more problems than it solves being nice because people take advantage of it. They just do,
Yeah.
and it's the nature of anything really. I mean, if you're too nice and people see that, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I can get something out of this
I
person.
know. But,
So
being nice does come in handy though.
yeah,
Like in life, you're going to find different things in real estate that you are more successful
yeah,
because you do have that big heart on your sleeve and you do want to help people. Because
yeah.
when it comes to a lot of the buying and even selling in this market, you have to have that big heart because we love our clients and we want to see their dreams and everything come true too. And I know I go way more out of my way than sometimes what's on paper because I want to people please and make sure that they are happy and my services are up to what they are expecting.
And I think sales that definitely makes a lot of sense too, because I mean, a lot of those times you're really trying to build that long term relationship with your
Yeah.
clients, and you never know in that regard, right? You never know what the other side thinks of you. But say they are not impressed with their agent in the transaction for some reason, and you
Mhm.
were awesome, and they like, well, hey, maybe next time we go to buy or sell, we use Bree because she was super
Yeah.
nice, super helpful, blah blah, blah all this stuff that our agent wasn't, and I that unfortunately, like that's where like it's like, yeah, you're right. I can't lose all the niceness, but I still I got to find a balance with the property
Exactly.
management. So it's
Exactly.
kind of a it's
I think
I'm
that's why a lot of agents just stay away from property
yeah
management because
I was told
It's hard.
before I started when I was talking to somebody who had done real estate and property management before I
Yeah.
joined, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna get into real estate. What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "Oh, well, it sounds like I might be getting into some property management." Like, "Oh, that's the armpit of the industry."
Yes.
And I was like, "What, really?" And they're like, "Yeah." They're like, "Talk to any agent. Nobody wants to do property management. It sucks." And I was like, "Oh, wow." Well, like,
Well, you're dealing with problems nonstop.
well,
It's
and
what you are. You are the problem solver. You're the
yeah,
mediator between the 2 parties, the tenant and the homeowner. You're right in the middle.
but I have to say, as a new agent, especially as a guy, and it can be harder for a guy to get into real estate and just make sales right away, as I think any
Hey.
guy agent will tell you. No, no, I mean, it just kind of is. And also, I'm not the, like I say, I'm nice, but I'm not, I can sometimes be an abrasive person when I'm talking to people. So, um, I, property management was fantastic in that sales can be hard, especially when you're starting out. And if you're going to get into real estate and you think I'm going to make a living off this right away, could very well be wrong. You might need to. I kept bartending for a long time, even after I started, and it was necessary until I got the property management really rolling. And property management is steady monthly income, no matter
Yes.
what.
It's the residual, which
Yes.
I know for me and Alex, like, we're both in real estate too. There is no, like, salary position, but with property management, we look at that as, like, our salary. We
Yeah.
have a baseline of what we are going to make every month. Like, our needs are going to be met, and then I focus more on the sales, and every sale that we have is more like, "Okay, we're putting it towards our new vacation home," or, "We wanna buy a car soon." Like, it's more bonus
Yeah.
money,
You guys have
I
figured it out
guess.
really well. You have a great
But it's
dynamic.
been over a decade that it took us to figure out how we can work together, but still be separate because everyone knows working with your husband and wife, like, at all times it has its challenges. Um, but we have kind of figured it out with our marriage counselor to help us along the way,
Hey, that is one. I mean, when you work and live together 24/7, I feel like that's
and
100%
everything in our lives are
essential.
together. Like our
Yeah.
friends are the same. We work together in the office the same. He's always a coach of our kid's son, and I'm the team mom. Like everything we do is connected.
Yeah.
And I think with anyone, if you're with the same person all day, every day, and now we're coming up on 15 years,
Yeah.
you're going to have your differences. And sometimes you do need that third party mediator to just kind of like smoothen
Yeah.
it out. And,
I mean,
it works for us. It's what we found.
I think your guys' dynamic works really well. I think you guys have figured it out
Yeah.
great because I mean, you're like the rock star team here, basically.
Oh,
And
thanks.
I mean, if it's not, it's kind of the same. Like you're the same two names that get thrown out. You, I'll say three because I'm going to include Brit in there too.
Yeah.
It's like if you have something that you have a question about, whether it's property management or sales, they're always like, "Go ask Alex or Bree. Go ask
Oh,
Alex or Bree or Brit. Go ask
yeah.
Alex or Bree or Brit." It's always the same. It's always those same three names because like, and it's like they know that. And it's almost like no matter what the category is, if it's house sales, we're going to you. If it's property management, go to Alex. If it's like you guys just have your niches and you know which zones you cover, and you both just like do the job and make the money together, and you're the pair. Like watching you two work together, it's it like I don't obviously see all of it, but it's clear that you guys have like got it figured out. And like watching you just both hopping in and out of here all day, every day, rocking and rolling. And it's like, I'm doing this over here. Okay, I'm going to go to this house. I'm going to do this. I got this show. I'm going to talk to
Yeah.
this client. Like you guys are always like in communication and just like handling one end or the other for each other. And it seems like you guys are just sitting there playing ping pong with everything and you're just like in perfect
We have a
synchrony.
lot
Like,
going on. You should see our
yeah,
calendar. Our calendar, it's like not just 1 or 2 appointments of a
yeah.
day. I think we have probably like 15 plus every day.
And he's like, oh, and he shared his calendar with me. He's like, oh, just throw your stuff in there so I can see what your schedule is. Like, you want to see my stuff on top of everything else that's already on your calendar? How
Yeah.
are you going to know
We
what's
we
going
live
on?
by our calendar though because we're not juggling just work. We're juggling our kids' activities. Like it's it's a lot.
See,
It's
like
a
me and
lot
my
to
wife
juggle.
aren't there yet because
You'll
like the
get
two under
there.
three, right? Like they're not really going out and doing anything. We don't have to go
Yeah.
pick them up from the school or the yeah, but yeah, at some
But
point that's going to have to
But
be
you know what?
a
Stay-at-home
necessity.
moms, like, they have the hardest job. Like, I love my kids, but I love having a break with them too, and I'm so lucky that my mom is super involved and Alex's mom is involved too, but my mom has our baby now every day,
Yeah,
and I couldn't do it without her. Like, it really does take a village.
it takes village. 100% takes a village. And I same thing. My wife's parents are just a couple streets away, and we didn't have them that close. I don't know because I mean she is the stay-at-home mom. My wife is, and I come here and work every day. But like you said, you need a break sometimes.
Yes.
And so to be able to call her mom and be like, "Mom, I just need an hour to take a real nap. Can you
Yeah.
please come
Can
watch
I
the kids? Yeah,
shower?
can I take a shower,
Yeah.
please, today? Like, and her mom can just be right there.
Uh-huh.
It's a godsend. It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Lately too, I've done a lot of multi-generational homes. I've sold a lot of my friends them because they're in the same shoes that we are. We have young kids. We need the help. Um, and so before, if you wanted a parent to live with you, you'd have to have like a, multi-million dollar home with a casita in the back. But now these new home builders, they're making it easy to where you could have like you know, a normal home, a 3-bed, 2-bath, let's
yeah,
say 1,500 square foot home, and then the 900 square foot apartment attached where it has their own kitchen, laundry, bedroom. Like,
yeah.
they're making it affordable. Now, I've seen a few of them, like, in the 400, $500,000 range. And I've seen a lot of my friends take advantage of that.
It's kind of a no-brainer because even if you don't have, like, a mother-in-law or somebody to stay with you, kinda on the same point, I've seen a lot of houses get, like, the mother-in-law suites inside the house where
Yeah.
it's like a second master,
Mhm.
usually downstairs or separated off on its own little area so that whoever is in there does kinda still feel like they're in their own, area and not, like,
Yeah.
living with everybody else, and that has just been so popular because even if you don't have a mother-in-law or a father-in-law or, like, a family member like that, like, if you have an older a teenager or somebody who just wants
Yeah.
kinda their own space
Well,
or
we
something, like, it
we
can be
have
really helpful.
we've had foreign exchange students
Oh, yeah,
in our
perfect.
home, and our setup, we have a mother-in-law suite setup, and it's kinda cool because we had a foreign exchange student when she was in high school,
Uh-huh.
and, then she moved back home, finished her high school years, and then she moved back in with us last year to go to college.
Oh,
So it's
cool,
kind of been cool because
cool.
she has her own area and stuff, but when we made the arrangements for her to move back in, it was before we were planning on having our
Oh,
surprise
yeah,
3rd baby.
yeah,
So she lived with us this whole school past school year, but then this upcoming school year, I kinda passed the baton to my sister,
yeah.
and now she's gonna live with my sister because, I just don't think it's fun for her to live with a newborn crying all night and stuff
Yeah, well,
too.
especially she's in college, she's already gonna have some pretty late nights as it is with studying and everything else,
Yeah.
well, I mean, that's super cool of Brit to take that on
I
and
mean, but that's what we do in our family,
Yeah,
though. It's like we are one big team, and it's
yeah,
not just with real estate. It's with our kids. My nieces and nephews, I feel like are my kids too. Like our calendars, we see everyone's events. Like,
yeah,
oh, you're going to the gym today? Okay, you pick up this kid and that kid and drop them off. Or hey, we want to go on a date night. Can my niece babysit here? Like we make it work.
yeah.
But again, we use that calendar.
I have to get better at that. It's one of my areas of improvement that I'm working on, just
Yeah.
putting stuff in my calendar. I'm even for myself because I'm pretty bad at that. But yeah, I mean, I guess we were talking about basically just you and Alex earlier, but your sister there in your office. I mean, you guys as a team over there work really well too. I mean, just like you said, you guys, it's just like this whole family affair. There's always like one of you guys is always in. There's usually some kids here, and like, but it's just like they how do I put it? Like, it's just one big family here at the office.
Yeah.
And when some days you walk in and there's like kids sitting in here hanging out in the podcast room or
Yeah.
watching TV in the hallway or something like that, and you're just like, oh yeah, everyone's just hanging out, one big family. Like no one's ever bothered by it. No one's ever,
Yeah.
and then if you ever need help with anything, there's not anybody here that's not
It's
willing to
definitely
just
a
like,
different dynamic for sure than probably any other brokerage.
yeah,
Like, I
I would
know
have to assume so.
even when I delivered my babies, like, Bob Klein, our old broker, he recently passed away this past year, but he was the first one to visit me in the hospital, and things didn't go very smoothly in the delivery, and as soon as he heard, he was there, I think, by 6 a.m. He stayed with me the entire day and, like, rubbed my feet and got
Yeah.
me blankets and kept me warm. It's like, you know, that might sound weird from the outside world,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
like,
Because most people are like, who my boss was doing what?
yeah,
But
but
Bob wasn't
he
just
he
your
wasn't
boss.
just my boss, he was
Yeah.
like my family, like another dad to me. I've, grown up in the office. I was a
Yeah.
receptionist for him at 15,
I was gonna say
16 years
you guys have
old.
been you and your sister both been working for Bob and
Yeah,
Mary since
over
you were
20 years.
yeah, so it's like that then that's a little different perspective, right?
Yeah,
Like of course, and he's one of those family friends that just like you said, he showed up. And I'll be honest, I mean, obviously I was never that close with Bob. I've only been here for a few years, but I would almost say that well, he would probably always show up to the hospital room for me if I went to the hospital for
yeah,
something. He was just that kind of guy. He cares
yeah.
about his people, and that's I think been passed on to his son who's taken over,
For
and
sure.
his wife.
And Mary is still here. My kids
Yep.
consider Mary their other grandma.
Yep.
Um,
Mary's still here running the show,
she
and
is.
Big Bob Jr. now. I guess we can't call him Bob Jr. anymore. Robert Klein, his son, is now our new head broker, and he's got big shoes to fill, and I think he's doing it pretty well so
I
far.
think so too.
I don't know if we'll tell him that yet. There he goes, actually walking down the hallway right now. But he's doing a really good job, and I think that he's very much keeping that spirit of Bob Senior alive, 100%. That
Yes.
caring about your people,
Yes.
and making people feel like I really don't feel like I'm coming into the office when I'm coming in.
Yeah.
I'm like yeah, I'm going into work, but I don't feel like there's any kind of stigma or pressure or like I gotta dress up and be a certain way or act a certain.
I
I just feel like I
think,
can come in and be
yeah.
myself and do my work and
When we, again, we're growing up, like they always say, find a job that isn't a job.
yeah,
It's just the way of life.
yeah.
And I think I have found that here at our brokerage. Like, I love coming to work each day.
Yeah,
I
this is not.
love
I've never once had a day where I'm like,
showing
"Oh, I don't
homes
wanna
to
go into the
people.
office. It sucks
Yeah.
going in there, blah, blah, blah." I mean,
Yeah.
the only time I think I ever was, like, mad about it was when our phones weren't working and I couldn't get reception here, and that's just because I had to keep going out to the parking lot to make calls. And that was the only thing that was, like, making me mad. The place is great. You never, like I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen it so far in the few episodes I've been in, but this is what I wear every day. I'm in jeans and a t-shirt. No one's sitting here hounding me to wear a suit and a tie and be something I'm not, and it
Exactly.
makes me feel a lot more comfortable coming to work and just being able to be who I am and know that it's
And I think
accepted.
that's what makes a good person in sales too, is
Yeah.
when you are 100% yourself, authentic. People are attracted to that. They don't like fake.
Yeah, the fake sharky salesman thing I think has gone away with social media because people just see through that stuff now. I
Yeah.
was actually funny enough listening to a different podcast, I won't name it. And they were talking about how the newer like younger generations like the ads and that kind of stuff like that type of predatory like salesmanship thing doesn't work on the generations anymore like younger people because we
No.
see right through it. We
Yeah.
grew up with social media and watching all this stuff happen and like you just realized social media just showed how fake most of that stuff is and how fake a lot of people are,
Yeah.
and so now the strategies don't work. You can't be that sharky predatory guy because people are like, "Oh, dude, I don't want to deal with
And
you. You're shady."
one thing I want to do with social media in our podcast is everyone's always showing their wins. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, just sold, just sold, just sold." But that's not all in real estate. Like
No.
right now from list to close, you're looking at around 60% in today's market. That's like 20% less than we've seen last year. So, I think we need to show more like, hey, I had this listing, I did this, this, and this. I spent this much money towards it, marketing,
Yeah.
and it didn't sell. And you know what? We're gonna take it off and maybe go into the property management side for a year and maybe think about it next year. But like, I think it's good to show the fails
Yeah.
too, because we all learn when it doesn't work out.
Showing your like showing that side of it, right? It's just more realistic too because it's what a lot of people get into this idea of like, oh, I'm going to put my house in the market. I'm going to make so much money and this and that. And
Hmm.
the last couple of years for the sales side, it was kind of like that. It was crazy here in Arizona, and people
Definitely a seller's market.
100%, and they could just kind of say whatever they wanted. They could say, oh, I don't like that offer. I don't like that offer. I don't like that offer. And
Yeah.
they could just kind of pick and choose and do whatever.
Yeah.
And buyers really had to work to look like the most appealing offer and
Yeah.
not take any concessions and
Uh-huh.
do all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. And I think that we need to start showing like you said, the failures or like the harder stuff in real estate because a lot of people like they know that side of it. They know the good side and they
Hmm.
don't understand that the market changes. Things don't always stay like that.
Yeah.
Stuff gets harder and you go through periods where sales we've had a lot of people who your husband for sure can attest to this that a ton of people are trying to sell their house right now and it is not working. So they
Well,
are
it's
coming to
because sellers
us
have
for property management.
unexpected or not realistic expectations
Exactly.
when
And
it
if we
comes to
started
selling.
showing like, hey guys, this is what it actually is like in the market now and not this pie in the sky dream that
Yeah.
everyone's been talking about for the past few years anymore. I think that's part of it is that
They're gonna
a
learn.
lot of people are getting the market still thinking about a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And
Or
they're
even
not
last year.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and not
It's not that
realizing that
far ago.
it's not that anymore and it's
Yeah.
changing a little bit quicker than we were
Yeah. Because when
expecting.
we were in like after COVID times when you just had to put a sign up and have an offer on the house,
You could just stand out there and wait for like an hour and you'd have
you were
people
a
like driving
buyer's
by throwing
agent
offers at
and
you.
you're
Yeah.
sending in like I remember sending in like clips of like how this family is so special and they're pregnant with their new
Yeah,
baby
like
and
really
like
trying
trying
to
to emotionally attach to the seller like pick me, but now it's like sellers are like come show me, like
Yeah,
the complete
yes, it's the
opposite
opposite,
because
100%.
we just want to get people in. We need that traffic through to maybe hopefully get a buyer
Yeah.
in a realistic list time, because now we're seeing list times like almost 100 days in a lot of areas,
And
and
that scares people.
we wanna keep that traffic going through, so we need to, like, do whatever we can to get those buyers to just get through that door.
Yeah. Yeah, and switching back to, like, the podcast stuff and all this,
Yeah.
that's kinda what we've been trying to do, like, just today, we're out shooting a new listing video at a house, and we're, like, trying to make nice listing videos to really show off the house and, like, do what we can to, like, because you need to put that extra into it right now. You
Yeah,
do.
we have a whole, like, social media crew
Yeah.
with us. We showed up to this listing appointment, we had videographers, a sound
Yeah.
person, we had another
Photo.
professional photographer, we had a drone
We
guy,
basically
like
had a person for, like, every category that we
yes,
needed, and
yes,
it's I think the client was not expecting that.
yes.
I think she's like, "Whoa, what are all these people
Yeah,
doing here?" But
but that's
I
what
think
we're
that was a
trying to
good
do.
impression,
We're
right?
raising the bar too. We're
Yeah.
trying to make that like the normal for all listings, not just those higher end ones. But if you're in whatever price range, we're going to give you that same service
Yeah.
to help get your home sold. That's for
We
sure.
want whether it's and not that this is a price you see anymore, whether it's a $200,000 house, cross your fingers, or a $2 million house. We want to go out and do the full shoot. We want to get you the drone videos.
Yeah,
We want to go through and make sure we get every good shot of this house that we possibly can and advertise it in just the right way for that place to make
yeah,
sure that we get as much traction through that door as we possibly can. Because right now, you can get on. I mean, I hate to say just get on Zillow, but you can just get on Zillow and you can see how inundated the market is right now. There are so many houses for sale, and a lot of them, if you start clicking through, you realize, oh, this one's been sitting here for a while.
yeah. Got to
It's
stand
been
out.
waiting. And so you
Yeah,
really gotta like, yeah, you have to stand out. So if you can get some viral video of your
yeah.
your house to
So
go out there and
again,
get crazy, then
thank you, Rhett, for really helping have our visions come to real life.
yeah.
And you've really done a lot to help all of the agents at our office
Well, I have to thank everybody
hopefully get to that
here
next step,
because I mean,
next
like, it was
level.
all an idea, but I could not have done any of it without like you guys all literally supporting the hell out of me
Oh,
and everything else we've been doing here. Every single person on the team has been just great. Like whatever we've needed to do, like we said, I mean, big shout out to Bobby and the brokerage because
yes,
obviously like they're doing a lot
absolutely.
of it, but like just the how gung ho everybody has been about just whatever you need, what time do we need to be there,
Exactly.
what do we need to buy, like what needs to happen, what do I need to wear, what do I say, just like it has been so cool to just work with a team of people who all care,
Yeah,
like actually care
yeah,
and
and
want to succeed together. It's
for
really fun.
sure. And you guys stay tuned because in the future, we're gonna bring in all the different agents in our office. So you're gonna truly meet the elite of our office. So hang in there, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks guys, see you next time.